Vultures are among the most familiar birds on Earth. Big wings, bald heads, slow circles in the sky, patiently waiting for nature to finish its work. But what if that image was completely wrong? What if vultures weren't slow at all? What if vultures were faster than cars? First, we need to be clear about what faster than cars actually means, because that phrase sounds simple but hides several very different possibilities. Are we talking about vultures flying faster than cars in city traffic, on highways, or at top highway speeds? Are they faster only in short bursts, or can they maintain that speed for long distances without collapsing mid-air like an overworked drone? And if a scavenger bird suddenly becomes one of the fastest moving animals on land or air, does that change how dangerous or how useful it really is? These questions already hint at something important. Speed alone doesn't automatically make an animal dominant, terrifying, or unstoppable. It usually just creates new constraints, new trade-offs, and new problems nobody expected. To understand whether ultra-fast vultures would actually reshape ecosystems, or just burn a ridiculous amount of calories, we need to look closely at how fast vultures are now, and what biology allows them to do in the first place. Right now, vultures are not built for speed, and that's not an accident or a design flaw. Most large vultures cruise at around 30 to 40 kilometers per hour, occasionally hitting higher speeds when gliding downhill or riding strong air currents. That already puts them slower than even a bored driver stuck in light traffic. But vultures were never meant to chase anything. They are specialists in efficiency, not velocity. Their massive wings are designed for soaring, not sprinting. A vulture can stay airborne for hours while barely flapping, using thermals like invisible elevators in the sky. This saves enormous amounts of energy, which matters when your entire diet depends on finding food that is unpredictable, scattered, and already dead. Speed, in contrast, is biologically expensive. Flying fast requires stronger muscles, denser bones, higher oxygen intake, and a metabolism that burns fuel like there's no tomorrow. There's also the small issue of mass. Vultures are heavy birds, some weighing over 10 kilograms. At high speeds, air resistance doesn't politely increase, it explodes. Every extra kilometer per hour demands disproportionately more energy. So if vultures suddenly became faster than cars, we're not talking about a simple upgrade. We're talking about a complete rewrite of their anatomy, their metabolism, and the entire logic of how they survive. If vultures were suddenly faster than cars, the first question is where that speed would actually matter. In open skies, speed sounds impressive, but vultures don't hunt moving prey. They hunt information. They locate carcasses by scanning vast areas and watching each other. At extreme speeds, that system starts to break down. Flying faster means less time to visually detect food, less time to react, and a much higher chance of overshooting the very thing they're looking for. Speed turns precision into a problem. Movement would also become riskier, not safer. A bird traveling at highway speeds has milliseconds to react to obstacles, trees, cliffs, power lines, buildings, even other birds. What feels like freedom quickly turns into a constant collision hazard. Cars survive crashes with crumple zones. Vultures do not. Faster flight would demand sharper vision, faster neural processing, and reaction times closer to fighter pilots than scavenging birds. Then there's the question of danger. A car-speed vulture sounds terrifying, but in practice, it wouldn't behave like a predator missile. Vultures lack grasping talons, killing beaks, and attack instincts. Even at extreme speed, they would still be biologically non-aggressive toward living animals. Ironically, the scariest thing wouldn't be vultures attacking humans. It would be humans accidentally hitting vultures that are suddenly everywhere, moving faster than expected, and impossible to predict. And here's the quiet twist. Faster vultures would actually arrive at carcasses later, not sooner. Their current slow, soaring strategy allows constant scanning over huge territories. Replace that with speed, and they'd need to slow down repeatedly just to search effectively. In many cases, speed would reduce their efficiency rather than enhance it. For humans, fast vultures wouldn't feel like a cool wildlife upgrade. They would feel like an infrastructure problem. Airspace that was once predictable suddenly becomes chaotic when large birds move at highway speeds without following lanes, lights, or regulations. Airports would be the first to panic. A bird strike is already dangerous at current speeds. Multiply that by several times, and you're no longer talking about damaged engines. You're talking about grounded fleets and redesigned flight paths. Roads wouldn't be much better. Vultures are famous for gathering near highways because cars conveniently create roadkill. Now imagine those same birds reaching crash sites faster than emergency services. It sounds efficient until you realize that high-speed birds near traffic create more accidents, not fewer. Drivers react to sudden movement instinctively, and instinct plus surprise at 100 kilometers per hour is how you create very expensive mistakes. Of course, humans would try to manage it. There would be tracking systems, deterrent technologies, maybe even designated vulture corridors in the sky. All of it would cost money, require enforcement, and fail in unpredictable ways. Someone would inevitably suggest training vultures to clean roads faster, as if wild animals have ever respected human optimization plans. In the end, faster vultures wouldn't dominate the world. They'd struggle to fit into it. Their current design looks unimpressive only because it works so well. Maybe the real lesson here is that evolution doesn't reward what looks impressive. It rewards what survives without wasting energy. So maybe vultures don't need speed. They already control ecosystems in a quieter, slower, far more efficient way. Making them faster than cars wouldn't make nature smarter. It would just make it louder and harder to manage. But then again, speed isn't the only trait we take for granted. What if vultures weren't just faster? What if they were smarter than we expected?